I now have the privilege to introduce our keynote speaker tonight, Fred Forsley, founder and owner of Shipyard Brewing Company, Maine's largest brewery and a national leader in craft brewing. Fred also owns and manages the Shipyard Brew Pub in Elliott, Maine, 10 Sea Dog Brewing Company brew pub concepts in Maine, New Hampshire, and Florida, 2 Shipyard Brew House locations, some of my favorites, Sunday River and Sugarloaf, and the Inn on Peaks Island, which I was just at the other day with my little guy. Let's hear and draw your attention to the screen and hear and learn more about Fred.
The Shipyard story begins with a young real estate entrepreneur, Fred Forsley. Fred was the youngest real estate broker in Maine's history when in 1992 he found himself involved in a Kennebunk Harbor real estate endeavor that was in desperate need of a purpose. While spending some time with his brother in an Irish pub in Pensacola, Florida, Fred realized that the property in Kennebunk could flourish as a brew pub as well. What quickly followed was one of the most historical meetings in shipyard lore between Fred and Manchester, UK native Alan Pugsley. In 1992, Fred and Alan joined forces to transform the Kennebunk property. It rested at the foot of where Kennebunk's 19th century shipyard once stood. One of the most famous schooners built by the shipyard in that period, the Federal Jack, inspired Fred and Alan. The location was dubbed the Federal Jack's Brew Pub and Kennebunk Brewing Company in honor of the local shipbuilding tradition. The team was wildly successful, and demand for the ales quickly outpaced what could be produced in Kennebunk. They needed to expand. As fate would have it, Fred and Alan found another property with a shipbuilding past, this time in Portland, Maine. In 1994, renovations began on the site that overlooked historic Portland Harbor. After putting in some major TLC and lots of elbow grease, Fred and Alan's vision came to fruition and Shipyard Brewing Company was founded. Since these early days, the Shipyard family has continued to grow and diversify, creating an eclectic portfolio of brands that are beloved the world over. From our Shipyard and Sea Dog ales, including our flagship Export Ale and the best-in-class fall favorite Pumpkinhead, to Ice Pick Vodka and Captain Eli's Soda. There's something for everyone. As our beverage options continue to evolve, so does our dedication to provide exceptional restaurant and hospitality experiences. Our sister locations have grown to include Shipyard Brewery and Tasting Room in Portland, Maine, Federal Jackson Kennebunk Brewing Company in Kennebunk, Maine, the Inn on Peaks Island, Maine, Live Cafe in Kennebunk, Maine, the Regatta Room, Commissary Kitchen, and Shipyard Brew Pub in Elliott, Maine, Shipyard Brew House at Sunday River and Sugarloaf, Sea Dog Brew Pubs in Bangor, Maine, Camden, Maine, Topsom, Maine, South Portland, Maine, North Conway, New Hampshire, Exeter, New Hampshire, and Treasure Island, Florida, and the Sea Dog Cantinas in Gulfport and Clearwater, Florida, and there are more locations always on the horizon. Our family is always expanding, and one thing that we take great pride in is our capacity to foster fulfillment and growth for all of our team members.
It's just like a close-knit family here at Shipyard, so.
10 years, some of the closest people I know are the ones I work with. I enjoy coming to work because I'm working with the people I'd spend my time with anyways.
Really have very little turnover because people love it here.
I started as a temp, and I just worked my way, up to where I am today, so absolutely. So there's definitely room for growth.
Thank you very much for taking the time to learn about the Shipyard beers and the Shipyard family and the Sea Dog and Sea Dog family and all our other related locations and products. The biggest ingredient of all these beers and the locations are its people, and you're an important part of it. I'm very proud and happy to have you as part of our family, and we are going to keep this company growing and enjoying it. The other key ingredient is fun, so enjoy yourself. Work hard, play hard. Welcome to the family. Cheers.
Fred Forsley, everybody!
Thank you.
Fred, while I have the stage, I just want to publicly tell everybody what kind of guy you are. In 2015, I had Maine Life Media, my business. The idea was on a piece of paper, and Fred, you knew of me, sort of. Judy's always been a big supporter, but you took my phone call, you took my meeting, and you gave me advice and encouragement to start my business, and that's the kind of guy you are, and I thank you publicly tonight for helping me and encouraging me to start my own business. So thank you. I've never said that to you. Thank you. So we just heard a little bit about you. I want to know, and for the folks out here, Tell me about your family, your mom and dad. Were they the inspiration in your entrepreneurial, like, kind of tick?
No. Well, we had a family business. My dad was a World War II veteran, prisoner of war in the South Pacific, and he was a medic. And when he got out, he worked at Togus, the VA hospital, and saw a lot of the 100% disabled vets kind of sitting in corners and not really engaging. He set up a home for veterans in Gray, Maine. So my mother ultimately ran it, but my dad had a passion. He was a behavioralist and believed if somebody had a passion for something, if you like to garden, build a garden. If you like to work in the automotive store, people in the town of Gray were very accepting, and a lot of the guys had different jobs in the community, and it lasted for 58 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
And so tell us how you then what happened after that for you?
So with the real estate, the video, I ended up in the real estate business and through Liberty Group, and at the time they had built a number of developments in the city of Portland that are still here today, 100 Middle Street, Chandler's Wharf, and I got lucky enough to meet Gordon and Georgia. So Herchebys, who became good friends, and we worked in the real estate business and did a number of deals, and Gordon actually had gotten involved in that deal in Kennebunkport, which was a beautiful location, was on the wrong side of the river at the time, and he needed some help in that project, and I consulted on it and got lucky enough to meet Richard and Eddie Stebbins, who introduced me to Alan Pugsley. And Richard and Eddie owned Gritty's, and my brother in Pensacola was at McGuire's Irish Pub and Brewery, like the video said, and Gordon and I were there, and we're having a great time, said this would work in Kennebunkport. That was 1991. And then we came back to Maine, and there were a bunch of legal things involving the property. And long story short, we were able to open up a brewery. And June 15th, 1992 was the first toast we did with Shipyard Export Ale. So, and that's kind of evolved. So Maine has been a very, it's a small, what hits me here today is how many people touch our lives, from Maddie Corson, who is truly one of the Maine's leaders, not only in family business, but in business, and it's just true treasure. So she actually visited the brewery and brought me to lunch, going way back. I don't even know if you remember it or not, but at the time the family hadn't sold the paper. And she basically said, listen, I have a responsibility to my family. I need to make a tough decision. I'll never forget it. But there are a lot of mentors I had along the way in Maine. And many of the people that are in this room, we've either done business or doing business, from MEMIC to Cross Insurance to so many other businesses, Gorham Savings Bank. Without them, we're not in business. So from, the relationships and friendships that we've had over the years, Maine really travels and touches the globe. And we're very fortunate that the world visits Maine every summer. And from that, our brand has been able to grow throughout the world. We're very fortunate right now to be one of the fastest growing brands in England and in Europe because of Alan Pugsley and his relationship and being an Englishman and the relationship he had, and to the connection to Marston's Brewing, which is now leading us to hopefully 1,000 accounts in Russia. So, but it is small things that lead to big things, and mentoring, and so many great businesses were just mentioned recently here, Margot, and your business with taking at-risk guys and putting them to work, to Luke's Lobster and some of these other businesses that have touched our lives. And we help each other along the way because of the connection to Maine and because small business and because we're a family business.
And you keep going, and you keep going. And so tell us all that's happening right now in your world. How many things are you juggling?
Well, we've been lucky. We've been lucky enough to evolve the Portland waterfront on 86 Newbury Street. Our brewery was there in 1994. It's the birthplace of Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, which was actually built the same year that he was born the same year the Federal Jack was built, which is kind of a unique cosmic connection to some type of spiritual thing, I feel, on that site. But it's being reborn in the sense that we probably January of this year will have 170,000 square feet of Covetrus space. Ben and David Shaw created Covetrus, and there'll be over 600 employees, and they'll be making drugs for pets that'll be shipped around the world. And then there's a hotel that'll be built there, and we've expanded the tasting room and bar in that spot. So we're very, very excited about that, and it's been kind of the last 3 years building and developing that. We're building a new brewery in Florida, in Sanford, Florida, where a lot of the equipment that was in Portland is being shipped there. We're expanding with some other friends on a development on a distillery that's in a location in Portland that can't be discussed because somebody else will sweep it up from me, so I don't want that to happen. But we want to be a total beverage company, and my goal is to keep going and keep our family involved. Our next generation is here with Jill and Adam Moses, and Adam works outside the company, but Jill works with us in the company, and Haley Herchebes is here, and she's working with us in some of our locations. So, and we have a number of our employees that are here. When you talk about what Harry said and the emotion and the passion he felt for the people he worked for, I feel the same way. I think when you own a family business and people become part of your family that work there, we're lucky enough to have truly amazing employees. Through the pandemic, every one of our locations, people unemployed kept in touch with each other. They communicated. They visited once a week with each other. They took care of each other. And I can say honestly, I've seen other businesses that hasn't happened outside the state of Maine. Contemporaries of ours are out of business because they weren't able to hold their group together. So the one thing that really isn't mentioned at these things is really how tough it is to actually stay in business, and it's very, very, it's not easy, as we all know. So when I see a lot of the things over the years, 9 out of 10 businesses fail in the first 3 years, and it's amazing to hear stories of, Mosier Furniture and Pam Hurley's here, and see what they've done with their business, and you connect on different things around the world with locations we can visit in St. John to wherever. But we're very fortunate in Maine that we have a very small community that most times support each other, and to a great extent we're under attack. I really feel that small business is under attack at a variety of levels, and there's never been a bigger time we need to get engaged and involved. And Quincy's here from the Portland Chamber, and she feels it and we feel it, and I think we need to get our businesses involved in politics again, because if not, we're going to be run out of business.
So yeah. Amen. We're talking about family. Adam, you married into this family, and my husband's here tonight on a text chain of the Ovalles, which is 30 plus people. I love my family. The Ovalle Christmas is the wild, wild west. Yeah. We're not in business together yet. How do you juggle the dynamic? Do you have any advice for other folks like me who's first generation?
So brands are interesting. Like, this is the Hannaford brand, and I actually knew some of the members of the family that were in that brand. And so today I was asking Judy what I should wear to the event, and I basically said I just wanted to share everybody. I really wanted to wear this tonight, which is the bowling shirt, which is really what it is brand, right? So she didn't want me to wear this, so I didn't. When you're in a family business,
a lot of opinions.
Yeah, you have a lot of opinions. So it made me think about what being in business means, and what being in business means is it's all about brand, right? So everybody knows that I'm involved with Shipyard, and I kind of wear it on my sleeve. And some friends of mine, Johnny Marr and Freddie Pape, they always say, Freddie, do you have any clothes that don't have a logo on it or anything else? But so I just wanted to bring something that had brands on it. And when you look at something and what does it mean to you, and when you're in a family, you're in a family business. But when you create a brand, you create a new family. And I honestly feel we have a new saying at Shipyard. It's called Discover More. And it's about collaboration, it's about travel, it's about engaging other communities and other places. And at the end of the day, it's truly about building family and expanding family. So then recently, I went to the Patriots game, and I had a lot of emotions there, and I thought, well, this is a family too, and we have a new family that involves, we call it the Mac Jones family. So some people have a question, and I thought about, I was lucky enough to be at the Patriots game, and I've been a big Tom Brady fan, and I actually have grown to love the Bucs and all that. But there was a moment, it was kind of a funny moment because a lot of people watching on TV didn't see it. But the Patriots had gone inside, and the Bucs ran out, and they went to the 50-yard line, and they stood on the logo of the Patriots at the 50-yard line. And I couldn't see because my eyes aren't great, but I couldn't tell if Tom Brady was there or not. But immediately, all the cheers for Tom Brady and the Bucs and the emotion that went to boos because they had kind of stepped on our family. It's kind of, from that moment on, Tom Brady was not really a Patriot anymore. So he's still connected, but he's not really in the family. And I don't know who said it, but they said they had to fire their son, or you got fired, Harry, by your dad. And I think at times you get fired. It's got to be one of the toughest things in the world is to fire or kick somebody out of the family. But you're always kind of connected. But there was a weird analogy with brands. And when I wear this shirt, I don't know if anybody can see this shirt, but it's kind of the way I feel about Maine business right now because we're under attack, and I feel like we're small Maine business, especially family businesses, are under attack. And one of the reasons, it's been a few years we've been talking about doing this, and the bigger, when Paul White Tile can't open, and some of the big businesses did, and some of the small restaurants, right now we're truly, truly under attack, and organizations like this are critical, I think, to our survival, sticking together and people hearing how and what we do. This is an awards night, not to be serious, but there's a lot of things that go on that need people like Matty Corson and others to carry the torch forward. And brand matters. The Maine brand is very powerful. It's what made our company. It's the work ethic of Mainers, and it's the family part of that that's important. So I just thought I'd just share. It's almost crazy.
Well, that's Fred Forsley for now. You are a very impressive brands, and you're absolutely right. It is not easy. And what do you want to show us? It's pumpkin season. What do we got?
No. Well, you have fortune in life, and I don't know how much time you want to go on, but
I can't see. So.
Bruce Forsley, I don't think's here, but the luckiest thing, Alan Pugsley did not like fruit beers, and we created a pumpkin beer back in 94, 93, and when we talked about putting it in package, the last thing he wanted to do was to do that. And everybody at the table didn't want it to happen. But we had people driving from New England all over to come get the pumpkin beer. And luckily, we put it in package, and it saved us. So we're
still going strong, my friend.
Right.
Still going strong. Do we have time for audience questions? Yes, great. So we have some folks in the audience who have a mic, I think, and want to ask you a few questions in the hot seat. We'll take you back there.
I always have a question. Hi, Fred. Hi. I think I was customer number 2 at Federal Jack's. Just saying. And bring back Goat Island Light, please. Right. So a lot has happened. You've done a lot. You've got lots of big plans in the future. What stands out, either as most enjoyable and memorable, or the biggest learning?
I think the biggest... as far as learning, is keep good people around you. Try to trust the right people. That's been my fortune, really. And it's hard to determine, but I think thinking, the whole thing where people say skate to the puck, and we have a lot of people here that are having to make payroll next Monday, and I think the other statement, there was a statement about passion for your business, and I don't think if you're not passionate about your family business or what you're doing, I think that's a detriment to survival. If you're passionate and you want to focus and do it, I think I was lucky enough to have some great mentors, and one of them was George Denny, and he did Cole Haan Shoe, and he had a passion for quality shoes, and he said, Fred, just focus on quality in your product, focus on quality in your people and experience. So I've been very fortunate with that, with people. So I'm very excited about the future with Maine. Portland's become one of the biggest tourist towns in the world, really. I mean, so we've got some very positive things going on in Portland. Like, even in spite of a variety of things, we're seeing an amazing record of people visiting Portland, and I think our future in southern Maine is but when hospitality is your biggest industry, to a degree, it's a little scary. And we've seen a number of great companies here, and right now, I think it was kind of inspiring to see all the little companies all over the state that are starting right now.
Oh, yep, we have from the family table.
Yes. I'll tell you something. Fred has been the best friend of anybody could ever have in their entire life. He's been my friend for over 35 years and my partner. But everybody knows this guy, not because of business, because of friendship. And that's more important. This guy's unbelievable. If he doesn't take a bow on that one, he really is.
Yeah.
He's my friend, and I'll always consider him a brother.
Thank you, Gordon. Yeah. Well, I think Gordon and George have been in my corner for close to 40 years now, and it's very special, and they are family, and that's why I'm very excited about the future. We know what happened in the past, and Gordon has always been there, and George has already been there to support me, and I've been lucky enough to be able to be there for him, and so is Judy and the rest of our family. So it's nice, and I think that's the nice thing about Maine is that you learn, you need, and you want to depend on each other.
And you've done that for me. And so, and everybody who needs advice, he does call back. He does take meetings. And
Yeah.
aw, cheers to your mom and dad then. Cheers
Thank
to your
you.
mom and dad.
All right.
Any final words, my friend?
No, I mean, have fun, really. I mean, life's too short, as we all know. And at the end of the day, if you can't have fun doing it, don't work hard, play hard.
Amen. I appreciate
Cheers.
you. Thank
Thank you.
you. Congratulations.